Greetings everyone, good evening. Welcome back to Cyber Secure with Lakshman. We're simplifying cybersecurity for everyone. So in today's session we are going to deep into one of the most important security technology used by every modern organization, the Web Application Firewall, also known as WAF. So if you are a network engineer, application owner, SOC member, or ethical hacker, or I would say just starting your cybersecurity journey, so this video will give you full clarity. So let's get started. All right. So I am going to present this WAF presentation in this video. So here is our today's agenda in this in this presentation. So before we begin, here is the list. Here is the agenda for your the today's presentation. Right. So in this training presentation, we will cover like what exactly is application security, right? What is the web application firewall? How WAF protect your application? Different WAF engines and detection mechanism. We will also talk about the deployment models, right? Performance enhancement, types of attacks which WAF block. All right. What are the business value of WAF? Who needs a WAF? And the WAF deployment life cycle step by step. All right. So this is going to be a very rich and helpful learning session. So be with me. All right. So let's understand what is WAF, right? So a web application firewall simply sits in front of your website or API, I would say, and monitor every incoming request, right? Think about it like a smart security guard, right, standing at the main gate. So for example, imagine your website is a house, right? Let's assume a website is your house, right? Visitor come to the gate, some are good, some maybe try to snake in. So what WAF checks, right? So WAF is responsible for like who is coming, what are they carrying, are they following rules, are they trying to break something. So if anything looks suspicious, right, WAF block them even before they touch your server. So simple words. See, if I'll move back to this slide, right? So if you'll see in this diagram, so this destination server, let's consider this destination server as your application, right? And this is the users like who are accessing your application, right? In between you have your WAF. So WAF is acting like a security gatekeeper for your website and APIs. All right. So why WAF is important, right? So traditional firewall, I would say. So imagine your website like you. So as I have mentioned, right? Imagine your website is like your home, and hackers are like those relatives who come without calling, right? Eat your food and also take your charger while leaving. So if you do not have a WAF, your website is basically saying, gate, what gate? Come inside everyone, right? I mean, it means it is allowing everyone, right? It is not inspecting like who is coming, right? What are they carrying? It is not inspecting anything, right? So WAF protect your web apps, right, where firewall cannot. So let's say if you have a firewall, right, in front of your application. So traditional firewall only check IP, port and protocols, right? But hackers attack your web application, your form fields like URL, cookies, session, right? So traditional firewall I would say, I will only check who is coming, but WAF I check what they are doing, right? So see the difference. So firewall check only IP, port and protocols, right? It will not inspect the HTTP header. So what is HTTP header? I will talk about in the next upcoming videos in details when I'll start this WAF implementation, right. So at the time we will cover what is HTTP header, but for now just understand WAF. If you have deployed WAF in front of your application, so it detects and inspect every HTTP and HTTPS header, all right. So let's say your web application are exposed to the internet 24/7, right. So what hackers does that, the hackers, bots, scanner keep attacking them continuously. So WAF protect your application from the most dangerous threats like SQL injection, right, uh, cross site scripting, CSRF, right, cookies manipulation, API abuse, malicious bots, zero day attack, OS top 10, so and so forth, right. I'll explain all these attacks in the details, right. I will also show you in the practical. Let's say I have hosted an application called DVWA application in my lab, and I'll show you without having WAF how attacker can inject the code, inject the malicious code, how they can attack, how they can perform the attack, right. So I'll try to demonstrate some of the attacks, but in the later video series definitely I'll cover all the attacks in the details when I'll start implementing WAF, right. All right. So understand, like without WAF, one small vulnerability can compromise your entire organization, all right. So what is SQL injection attack? All right, so I'll cover. So as I have mentioned, right, so WAF act like a smart security guard, right, that inspect every request and block any attack, like whether it is known attack, unknown attack, or zero day attack, right, before it reaches to your web server or application. So let's understand a bit about this SQL injection attack, right. So example of this attack is, let's say a hacker enter this input in a login form like 1 is equal to 1, right, in the login form, and this tricks your database into thinking authentication is successful, right. Or I would say let's take a real world example, all right. If your website has a login box, let me also access the application, right. I'll access this application and I'll show it from there. So this is my DVWA application, all right. Let me decrease the security level from impossible to low. So this is my DVWA, right, damn vulnerable web application. I have hosted it in my VMware, and from there I'll show you the SQL injection attack, all right. So let's say a hacker enters 1 is equal to 1, right. This trick your database into thinking like authentication is successful. So I'll perform one scan. Let's say 1 is equal to 1, all right. What I'll do, I'll copy here and submit, say, right. So this is the example of SQL injection attack. So at this time I don't have WAF in front of this DVWA application. That is the reason attacker can inject the malicious SQL injection code, right, and your backend database will answer, right, without even inspecting like what is the payload, like what attacker is trying to access the data, all right. So how WAF helps? So it detects malicious keyword like union, select, or 1 is equal to 1. It blocks SQL payloads before they hit to the backend, all right. So if you implement WAF in front of your application, the database never even see the attack, right. It will block immediately because your WAF will be in front of your application. So all right. So I'll move back to the slide now. So next attack is very well known attack, which is called accesses, which is also called as in cross site scripting, right. So what it does, that if the website reflect this input, right, hacker can steal cookies or session tokens, right? Example, let me also show you the example of this attack. All right, so what I will say, I will perform this cross site scripting attack, and I'll show you. Let me, this is my cross site scripting, and see, I have again performed cross site scripting attack, right? And within the code I had mentioned you have been hacked with accesses, right? This is the code, right? And see, without having WAF, the application got compromised, right? Anyone can attack. All right, so this was the another example. Again, I'll go back to my slide. The next kind of attack is cookies poisoning, or sorry, cookie poisoning. All right, so some attacker try to manipulate cookies to gain higher privilege. Example, changing cookie value from user is equal normal to user is equal to admin. All right, let's say if your website it is not if your application is not protected, right? And if any normal user is trying to access your application, let's say with the user privilege is equal to normal user, they can manipulate, right? They can change the cookie value from user normal to user admin. So if your WAF is in front of your application, so it blocks this by detecting tempered cookies, right? So again, I'll give you one demo here. All right, so let's say I'm accessing this application, right? Again, this is my vulnerable application, right? And what I'll do, I'll change the value from low to this what we call impossible. All right, so this is my security impossible. I have changed the security label, so it is showing currently as an impossible. So what I'll do, I'll try to manipulate the cookies, and let's see if I'm able to manipulate the cookies from impossible to normal. All right, so what I'll do, I'll simply inspect this website. All right, no thanks. Open web tools. All right, what I'll do, I'll navigate to the network. All right, and I'll try to go into the application. All right, so let me have it, let me find out for the application. So under the network, I'll search for application. Let me find out how I did it. Application cookies. I think I have opened in, let me try to open in the Chrome. Alright, so this is already opened. I'll quickly change it from low to high, from low to, I would say, impossible, submit. Then I'll try to inspect. Alright, I'll go to the application, and under the application, see, the security is impossible, right? So what I'll do, I'll change the value. Alright, so what I'll do, I'll say low. See, I'll click on the blank area here, and what I'll do, I'll refresh this page and see what happened. The security has been low. It was previously as an impossible. Now I was able to I'm able to manipulate it, right? I'm able to change it from impossible to low. So this is the example of cookies poisoning. All right. So again, if you have the WAF in front of this application, so WAF can protect from such kind of cookies attack. All right, now I'll move to the slide. The next type of attack is API attack, right? So APIs are now the backbone of modern application, right? Hackers frequently abuse APIs because many are poorly secure, right? Example, sending malformed JSON, right? Trying to enumerate users by passing the authentication using API, right? So WAF protect by validating schemas, enforcing authentication, blocking injection attempts, right? Stopping enumeration. Plus WAF has pre-built rules set for the OWASP top 10 vulnerabilities. So what is OWASP top 10? I'll cover in the next upcoming video. So I'm planning to record one separate session for this OWASP top 10 vulnerabilities. All right. So the important slide is here is how web application firewall work, right? So a lot of people ask, Lakshman, WAF काम कैसे करता है, right? So imagine you are running a restaurant. Again, I'm giving you one very good example, right? So imagine you are having a restaurant, or you are running a restaurant, but instead of customers you are getting hackers, right? Some want SQL injection, some want cross-site scripting salad, right? And one guy is trying to enter your kitchen without permission, like it's his father's hotel. To protect your restaurant, you hire a big muscular bouncer at the gate, right? Again, I am saying, to protect your restaurant, what you did, that you hired a big muscular bouncer at the gate, right? So this bouncer is your WAF, web application firewall, right? So a web application firewall is like a bouncer for your website. It stands outside your web application and checks every request, like who are you, like what do you want, what are you carrying, right? Why are you inserting a script, right, inside the feedback form? Are you crazy? If the traffic looks like safe, it is allowed. If the traffic looks suspicious, WAF slap it back out of the gate, right? So I hope you got that. I've tried to make you understand in the easier way. So it is the simple version. So basically it's check the basic hygiene, like it rejects a malformed request. All right. So if any HTTP request are malformed, so it rejects, it blocks, right? It blocks the IP reputation. All right. So it has inbuilt IP reputation signature. All right. So it's block all the known malicious sources. It's block signature based detection, right? So every WAF, every OEM WAF has its own signature. It always periodically takes the update from its from their cloud to update their signatures, its IP reputation. All right. So it blocks known attacks. It has some machine learning capabilities. I mean, it learns normal behavior, decision making. So after the machine learning, right, it allow block and challenge or alert. So this combination makes WAF, I would say, extremely powerful and trustworthy. All right. So what is machine learning in WAF? All right. So just just assume the machine learning is the heart of WAF intelligence, right? Instead of relying solely on predefined rules that required constant manual updates, and updates are it is helpless against new unknown, I would say, zero-day attack, right? So WAF take behavior approach, right? It use machine learning algorithm. So it learn normal user behavior, it detect anomalies, right, identify zero-day attack and reduce the false positive. Example, if your website normally receive 200 bytes payload on the login field, right, and suddenly someone sends 5000 byte script, so WAF immediately flags it. All right. So what type of attack WAF can block? All right. So WAF provide you protection from the almost all application level attack, like SQL injection attack, DOS attack, right, file inclusion, broken access control, session attacks, API attacks, so and so forth. And very important, zero-day attack, layer 7 DDoS attack, brute force attack, right? So this is why WAF is considered must have for any business with public facing application. Again I'm saying for any public facing application, WAF is must important. All right. So what are the WAF deployment options are available, right? So WAF can be deployed. Different organizations have different requirement, right? So WAF comes in multiple deployment models. Like you can deploy the WAF in the hardware appliance like on-prem physical box. You can deploy it on the virtual machine like VMware, Hyper-V, KVM, right? You can also deploy it on the cloud like public cloud, AWS, Azure, GCP, and OCI, Oracle Cloud Infrastructure. All right, and you can also take as a WAF as a service like fully managed cloud service. So this flexibility ensures WAF fit into the any environment. All right. How does FortiWave accelerate application performance? So sorry, so what I did like so in this WAF series I am going to cover the FortiWave WAF, right? So in the market there are many WAF is offered by many OEM like the FortiWave, Radware, and F5. So in this video series I will be covering this FortiWave, FortiWave solution in my lab, and in next upcoming videos I will show you about the FortiWave lab and its capabilities. All right. So WAF not only protect, it also improves the performance. So when I say improve performance, right, so I mean to say it's SSL offloading, right? So WAF handles SSL decryption as well. Caching, so it stores static contains, compression, it's reduced response size. All right. So as a result user get faster performance and backend server load reduces. So let's say if we will reduce, or if we will offload the HTTPS or SSL offload from the servers, right? So server performance can be server will give you better performance. All right. Its performance can be increased also. All right. All right. So how does WAF balance the load on the servers? So in addition to WAF and acceleration feature, FortiWave has a built-in advanced load balancing capabilities for application server as well. So it can intelligently distribute the traffic. So FortiWave and many WAF have a built-in feature for load balancing. Example, you have a 3 backend server, right? So WAF distribute the traffic using round robin least connection weighted method, right? So if a server fails, WAF automatically route the traffic to healthy servers. All right. Very important slide. So what are the business benefit? All right. So we have in the previous slides we have seen like why WAF is important. Now the important point is what is the business benefit. So from business perspective, WAF adds a huge value, right? It protects revenue, it protects downtime. All right, it protects and supports compliance like PCI, DSS, GDPR, depend upon the organization, right? It maintains the brand reputation. So when I say brand reputation, let's say if you have a well-known application, right? You are running any e-commerce application, right? And let's say if your application get hacked, right? Then your reputation in the market may also will not be good, right? So that is the reason if WAF provide you to maintain brand reputation. It build customer trust, right? It reduce the workload and IT teams, provides virtual passing. So that is the reason for any business with sensitive data, right? WAF is a strategic investment and very good investment, right? So which organization FortiWave designed for? I would say who needs a WAF, right? So WAF is required by almost every industry like e-commerce, banking, finance, government portals, SaaS companies, right? I would say healthcare, right? Public sector, or any company hosting internal or external app, right? So if you have a website or API, you need a WAF, right? So how does process of deploying WAF in existing infrastructure, and I would say what is the deployment life cycle. So here is the steps by step WAF deployment life cycle, like planning and architecture, right? Installations, uh, that could be your physical or virtual appliance, network configuration, policy creation, all right, learning models, tuning and false positive, enforcing blocking mode, continuously monitoring and maintaining. So a professional deployment always follows this stage, all right. So thank you for watching today's complete WAF session. So if you learned something new, or so do not forget to like, subscribe, and comment your questions and share with your team. So this is Lakshman signing off. Stay safe, stay secure. Jai Hind.